Okay, the topic for today is parallel and perpendicular lines. The first thing I want us to talk about is how the slopes of parallel lines are related and how the slopes of perpendicular lines are related. So, first of all, in this graph, I have two lines that are parallel. And what we're going to do is evaluate the slope of each and see how they're related. And so if we just simply use rise over run, and we look at this line, line 1 here, as we go from left to right, we're going up 3 and over 2, which means the slope is 3 over 2. If we look at this line, to go from left to right, we go up 3 over 2. The slope is 3 over 2. This sets up for us a fact about parallel lines, and that is that parallel lines have equal slopes. So if we have any two lines and they're parallel, we know their slopes are equal. Now, perpendicular lines. We have a picture of perpendicular lines here, and they're not going to have the same slopes, but the slopes are related. So first of all, let's look at line 3. And as we look at line 3 and calculate the slope as rise over run, I'm going up 3 and over 2. So the slope is 3 over 2. Line 4 is perpendicular to line 3. And what that means is it forms a right angle with line 3. So a 90-degree angle. Now the slope of line 4, if you notice, as we go from left to right, it's going down, so it is negative. And in fact, we're going down 2 and over 3, which means the slope is negative 2/3. Negative 2/3. How these two slopes are related is a two-part process. Number one, they're opposites. One's positive, one's negative. Secondly, they're reciprocals. So notice that they are, this one, line 4, is this one flipped upside down. Reciprocals. What we call that is we call them opposite reciprocals. It means change the sign and flip it upside down. That's how the slopes are related for perpendicular lines. All right? Now, knowing that, let's find some equations for parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's go to the next page. And in example 9, it says find the equation of the line that contains the point 510 and is parallel to this line. So here's what we're using this for. If we know it's parallel to this line, then it has the same slope as this line. So we just need to figure out what the slope of this line is. This line is in slope-intercept form, so the slope is the number in front of x, and that is 3. So the slope of this line is 3. Since parallel lines have equal slopes, and the slope of y equals 3x minus 1 is 3, then the slope of the parallel line is also 3. So here's what we're going to do. We now know the slope of our line, it's also 3, and we're going to write an equation for our line. We're going to use this point, which is x1, y1, and we're going to use the slope of our line, which is m, which is 3. And we're going to plug all of this into our slope, or our point slope formula to calculate the equation for this line. So I've got y minus 10 equals 3 times x minus 5. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute my 3. So I have y minus 10 equals 3x minus 15. I want to get all my constants on one side, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And I have y equals 3x minus 5. Now, to have this in standard form, I want to move my 3x to the other side, so subtract 3x on both sides. And I have negative 3x plus y equals negative 5. The only issue is I can't have a negative in front of my x term, so I'm going to divide all three parts by negative 1. This is going to give me 3x minus y equals positive 5. All right, let's do an example with a perpendicular line. So if we go to example 10, it says find the equation for the line that contains the point 1, 2 and is perpendicular to this line. So first of all, we need to find the slope of this line. All right? The slope of this line, it's in slope-intercept form, is the number in front of x, which is negative 2. So since perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals, and the slope of y equals negative 2x plus 6 is negative 2, then the slope of the perpendicular line is, and we have to find the opposite and the reciprocal. The opposite is that it would be positive. The reciprocal, flip it upside down, and we get 1/2. So this is the slope of our line. And we're going to use x1 and y1 from the point 1, 2. And now we're going to use our point slope formula to write our equation. So I have y minus 2 equals 1/2 times x minus 1. I can't have fractions in the equation in standard form, so multiply both sides by the denominator of 2. On the left, this means I'll need to distribute. So I've got 2y minus 4. On the right, the 2 and the 2 in the denominator will cancel, and I'm just distributing 1, so I have x minus 1. Next, get all your constants together. So add 4 to both sides, and we get 2y equals x plus 3. Now we're going to want to subtract x from both sides to get our equation in standard form. So subtract x. I have negative x plus 2y equals 3. And I can't have a negative in front of x, so I'm going to divide all three parts by negative 1. This is going to give me x minus 2y equals negative 3.